Oh, okay.
How you feeling? I forgot.
Here,
All right.
wait. Yeah, I got something.
Did you get it?
Okay, here we go. Hold on.
I don't hear anything other than the normal yet.
You didn't hear that?
That was a joke to say that's the normal.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, crap.
That's your normal podcast voice.
What's up, bro?
What's up, man? How come now, I guess, that we do these more often? A week now seems like forever.
It does.
2 weeks, whatever it's been. Yeah.
Seriously, because when was our last one? It was last week?
Well, the last one was Derbs, and was it last week? Maybe it was
I think it was.
early last week, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, I'm like, whoa, like, I don't know.
How do we do this?
I don't know what to do. Now we don't have a guest. I don't know. We only do guests now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it's good to be back. The original format.
Mm-hmm.
So, listener, we gotta get to the bottom of this because things are really flowing for us.
Yeah.
And we're just getting flooded with fan mail and followers, and it's getting crazy. So, one of our beloved listeners sent us some amazing feedback a couple days ago. And the thing with our fan mail is we don't know who these people are, which is
unless you sign it, which you don't have to, unless you say your
sign
name.
it. And it does make it kind of beautiful because you have the freedom to say what you want, and unless
you suck, anonymous.
Yeah. Unless, because there is a way for us to reverse engineer the phone number and find out only if it's someone we know that's in our contacts. So if I see like 3058 as the last number, all I have to do is go in my contacts and type that in.
Muscat.
Oh, Muscat. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So anyways, we had someone, and I know the phone is from the Bay Area, and they said, loving the podcast. But sorry, people are texting me. Oh no, don't do this. They're like, we're loving the podcast, but there's so much snorting and coughing that it's hard to listen to. And so I'm sorry.
I don't know at all what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it's definitely me. I know there were some where I was apologizing throughout the podcast.
Yeah.
And I was blaming it on my turmeric in my coffee. Because I do.
It's not the turmeric. Yeah.
I put turmeric in my coffee and it kind of like makes me go, ah. But, and no, I did not change it. And yes, I'm still drinking it. So I'm sorry.
Okay. Oh, so now we're apologizing in advance for the snorts.
Yeah. No, I think it's been better. I think it's been better lately. Because we're like really trying to make this thing amazing.
But you know what though? We do appreciate feedback in any form.
Totally.
Positive, negative, neutral, honest, and just bullshitting. Anything's good. We love to hear from you guys and gals and in-betweens. And so that was, we got a few others too. And,
we got a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Good. We should probably go through them. Let's do this. Let's get it. Oh no, why did it log me out? What the heck? That's annoying.
Buzzsprout.
This is
which by the way, as a reminder, is how you can send us a message through Buzzsprout. Look up our Green Room podcast, Green Room Music podcast.
You could do that, or you could just go to whatever you're listening on. So if you're on iTunes, if you're on Spotify, there's a send a text.
Oh, there is. Okay.
Yeah. So you just go straight to that.
I should probably learn that fact. Okay.
You put in your VHS and you press record. You need 2 VHSs.
And then your social security number. It's no big deal. Yeah.
And so you find the right station. I'm so stupid right now. Here we go. We got a whole bunch, guys. This is amazing. Let's check this out. Okay, we have one from March 27th that we're going back that just says, love you guys. That's from Brisbane, California. I don't know who you are, but
love you too, Brisbane.
That is amazing. We have another from San Francisco, I'm not sure who this is. It says Muscat here. I don't know who that is. So Muscat here, guys. I've been trying to send messages, but they don't seem to be going through. Just seeing if I got it right this time. Love the pod. Have a great week. Muscat, you are the best.
Thank
Much
you,
love
buddy.
to Muscat.
Yeah, I
And
think
to
he's
his
saying,
family, you know?
yeah, oh, his mom especially.
Yeah.
And I think he's saying, I'm not sure if these are going through because we weren't responding like we're doing now. So, well,
Yeah,
these will
well,
be
and
faster in the coming shows.
totally. And he was trying to send, because I was with him when he was trying to send some, and they weren't going through. So I don't know what
okay.
was good. He was typing with his feet, though. So there was that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then this next one, I know who this is. This is coming from Clay. He didn't say it's from Clay, but I know it's from Clay. First says March 2nd, more Ben.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So
yeah.
Ben Levine. We
That's
need to talk about him
thing.
more.
Yeah.
The second one, March 31st, about a month later, he says again, does this one have a lot of Ben stories?
He should start his own Ben podcast.
Yeah.
Ben only.
Yeah. We'll call it On a Bender. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. And then the next one, April 1st, my rap style is partly also inspired by the Fat Boys.
Yeah, and I thought I had called that out when we were kind of talking about his rap style.
yeah. I think.
I think I said something else. Yeah, I said Grandmaster Flash.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Definitely Fat Boys vibes.
Yeah,
love it.
I hear that.
And so then that catches us up to April 6th. I think this was on Sunday. Hi, I'm digging the pond.
Pondereggae.
I'm digging the podcast, but it is difficult to listen to due to the frequent snot snorting and throat clearing.
Oh my god! So it's a thing.
I'm sorry, it's a thing. Let's just hit that one more time. Let's see.
That is really good mic technique right there. You can hear every nose hair.
Someone used their pig. That voiceover pig got paid. So I love this so much. And I love even more that I don't think we know who this person is, but we know you now. We are hearing you. You are seen. You are heard. So, yeah, keep listening. We're going to snort less. If I have to die from suffocating, I will.
For you.
Yeah. Now just other bodily noises are going to start.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, I know. I had a nice Mexican meal last night, so I'm not sure if I can control.
And, my mic is. I have actually a room mic on my ass.
Yeah. I have an ass mic on my room.
A lavalier. Lavalier hanging from my belt.
Right, it's going right between your cheekers.
Oh, dude. So being that we had the amazing, mighty, all-powerful James Durbin last week, which was great.
Yes,
and more. So wait, was it last week? Does it matter?
Well,
it was.
I don't know when it was released. I think last week, but we just spoke to him.
You're right. It was released last week. Last week we couldn't do a podcast, right?
Okay.
I think that's why it seems.
There you go.
Because we did that podcast, and so listener, if you didn't listen to that one, you must go back. This is homework assignment. But what happened. A lot happened. One thing that we mentioned though is I auditioned for James Durbin. And if you don't know who James Durbin is, you have extra homework assignment. You need to look him up. Amazing singer, American Idol contestant,
and a handful of original albums which are jaw-dropping. Really good
it's just
metal
so
albums.
much good stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, back in like 2011, he was really had an amazing album that was coming out. Had a lot of push behind it. It was like on a big label, and I lived in LA, and so I would see these things come through, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and I would audition for everything. I seriously, and this was one of them, and I auditioned, didn't get it, whatever. And so he didn't know this. We brought it up on the podcast. His mind was a little blown. Yeah. And his mind was still blown when I saw him over the weekend. And he goes, man, I can't believe that. And he goes, you know what? I wonder if I still have your photo and like the stuff I sent to him. And I was like, I don't think so, because I think I was going through like an agent or someone else.
This is gold.
And so he digs through his email, and this was amazing. I don't know if I could dig this far back on my email, right? He went back to 2011. He finds it. He finds my picture, which is, oh my God, I need to
you gotta splice this in and show it. Yeah.
I need to put this seriously.
You gotta share it with our watcher.
Our watcher, we have to. Did I send it to you? I sent it to you, right?
You did. And your the form you filled out telling
the form. Okay,
Durbin
so
about yourself.
Here we go. Let's just do this for now.
Yeah.
This is gonna be bad. But look at this yellow son of a bitch. Look at that.
Look at the chin strap.
The chin strap is so disgusting.
It's so good. You're having fun. Nothing's changed.
Having fun. I do like those. Check this out. This is how you know how old I am. See those jeans?
Yeah. New Religion.
Those jeans went out of style, and now they're back in style.
Are they New Religions?
No, those are diesels.
Or what are they called? Bad Religion? What?
Those are True Religions.
True Religion.
So those are diesels. I used to love the fit on those. I don't think they'd fit like that anymore. But those are the kind of jeans that like Kendrick came out like.
Flares.
And I was like, damn, those are nice jeans.
I know, me too.
So
me too.
I look like, if it was Nickelback, I would have got that gig.
Yeah, for sure.
And so also, let's keep going with that. And so then we got the form.
Yeah.
That I filled out.
Yeah, this is so great.
This is really gold. This gives you an idea of a Jeff 2011 mentality.
Well, let me ask you this before you read your answers. Do you really think that you're different now?
No, I don't.
I don't think so, and that's a good thing because it's so awesome.
So, but here's I'm wiser now.
Yeah, that's true.
And I would put a different foot forward on the way I presented myself. That's the only difference. Like, I'm still the same. Yeah.
Now I use a fart mic.
No, I was joking with Derbs, and actually his guitar player that was in the band at the time.
The one who got the job that you didn't get?
Well, he had the job. He was already in. But he was part of it. His buddy Dylan. He was there, and we were all laughing. And I'm like, everything I said, I'm like, yeah, that's fine. But I would have said like maybe a little clearer response or a little more professional. So like, first off, one of the reasons he couldn't find my name is I was under Josh Sabru.
Is that because your handwriting?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just like, there's probably so many people. It's just like, you're Josh. So it's like, as it goes through, here's the form. It says, James Durbin, band audition questionnaire. You know, regular stuff. Oh, sorry, cough. Now I'm afraid to cough. Jesus.
Suffer.
I'm just like,
it's all that weed smoke.
I don't smoke weed. I just drink turmeric. I just drink a whole thing of organic turmeric.
I smoke turmeric.
Yeah. Married? No. Children? No. Willing to change your look? Yes. Unless it involves not wearing yellow. Yeah.
Unless you make me shave this amazing comin.
That thing. Woo, that thing is gnarly.
Cut, majestic beard.
Yeah. That might as well have just had. I might as well just had the zip code to Bakersfield on my chin.
Yeah. Should have twisted it.
Yeah. Oh, I would have. Felony charges or misdemeanors? No. Yeah. See,
that's also changed.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Valid passport? Yes. Car? Yes. This one's kind of funny. It says drugs, drinker, smoker. Be honest, it won't affect your chances. And I said yes.
Did you underline it?
Yeah,
admit it. Yeah.
Hell yeah. My goatee.
You just tagged another photo of yourself doing the devil horns again.
Yeah, like a close up of my chin.
What do you think?
Yeah. The chin has the pencil in its hand. Like writing. Okay, what instruments? Guitar, duh. And then what kind of drum kit? If it's drum kit. And I said, well, I play a DT Express for fun. Ha ha. Okay.
You're letting them know.
Yeah. Do you play double bass? No. Favorite drummer influence? I said Weckl. Okay. I guess I like Weckl at the time.
Big. That's big.
Yeah, that's a big swing, right?
They're like, yeah, let's hear some of your Weckl influence playing. You're like,
yeah. Yeah. Oh, did I say Wetzel? I meant Wetzel's Pretzels. Yeah. Uh,
My drumming's salty.
yeah, little Wetzel bites.
Yeah, it's
Um,
cheesy.
so prior band touring experience, had to throw down touring with Tainted Love 80s band,
Hell yeah. Hell
Hell
yeah.
yeah, I was.
Proper.
Which is absolutely amazing because at the time Durbin's probably like, who the hell's that? Fast forward 10 years, he's in the band. Actually,
but also
Jesus,
it's one of
13 years.
It's one of the few touring cover bands.
Yeah.
There really aren't that many, and any band that can achieve, especially one where there's, other 80s bands around the country, yet Tainted Love manages to play all over the world, and that's remarkable. So we gotta say it.
It is pretty amazing. I want to talk about that too, like just cover bands in general, once we get down the list. Okay, we're coming back to that. Genres, bands, this is kind of boring, just whatever. This is interesting though, because that time I was like funk guy. I was like funk, gospel,
but
country.
That's also the time period, right?
True that.
You're like Korn, funk.
Yeah. I was like, look at my chin. My gospel goatee.
I call it
Jesus.
Yeah,
my Jesus goatee. Whatever. Okay, so it says like tour experience. I'm like a couple years, whatever. And so this one's good. It says stage presence, and I just said solid.
Oh yeah, dude, that's how I would characterize it.
It is kind of a tough question though.
Amazing. What are you supposed
to say exactly? Like I guess I would have maybe actually written a sentence.
Gotta warn you, sometimes I pull attention from the lead singer.
Yeah, I did. Answer. There was this one time I pooped on stage. It just happened. So it was solid though.
Yeah. I'm a snorter. Hope that's cool.
Yeah. Don't mic up my snorts. Okay. Blah blah blah. What are your goals? Make a comfortable living, doing what I love. Sorry, listener. What do you want out of this? To play 5+ days a week across the country, blah, blah, blah. 3 qualities about you think that are most important. Cool hang. Don't take myself too serious. Take music very serious.
See, I like that. So that was a good capper.
Yeah, and then it's, what are your values? Treat everyone with respect.
Dude.
So there's that. And then the last one, chunky or creamy peanut butter. Think hard. And I said, chunky all day.
Is that still how you feel?
Not really.
Me neither, because I used to be back then too. I guess chunk goes with funk, because I was also
chunk
a
and
funk dude.
Yeah. Oh my God! Now I'm really coughing.
Now, you have never heard you cough this much.
Oh my goodness. Okay, sorry. I'm really trying. And then I said, side note, I play in a band with Trey Sabatelli. He played with Durbin and Santa Cruz.
That I didn't know.
So Trey, I gave you a shout out. I've been giving you shout outs for decades, bro.
Yeah.
So
hell yeah. And he probably never even knew that. And it wasn't, it wasn't because of it being a name drop.
Right. So that was just a really wild, amazing
thing for him to find, right? And reconnect and come full circle with. That's sick.
And to just see like a time capsule of where I was, where it's like, that is a very honest look into kind of like who I was at that time. Cause I'm like, no one's going to see this, like, and then to show it to all the like closest people to me, I'm like, oh my God, I was so scared.
It's awesome. Dude,
sorry.
Great.
I did have a cold last week. Sorry. No sickness.
No, but actually you seem maybe like a little under the weather, even when we first started. So I figured,
it's like
kind of fighting it.
My whole house was so sick. We went to Disneyland we went to Disneyland like 2 weeks ago, but then the kids went to Great Wolf Lodge, if you know what that is.
No.
It's in Manteca. It's like a big water park, which is basically like a big...
it used to be the water slide.
It's basically a big dome where people get sick and they all hang out with each other.
In the water.
And then they come back to their families and get them sick. So, so that happened.
Well, that worked out.
Yeah. So that's pretty awesome.
So you've been doing family stuff, and you've been doing getting sick.
That's
what's been happening.
I've been I've been playing a lot of solo shows too.
Yeah.
Okay, water.
All
Okay,
right. Well, while you do that, I'm gonna start the recent solo shows conversation,
let's get it.
and kind of see if this has happened to you. So, uh, I am an idiot. Let me just start the story this way. Okay, we all know that, and I'm an airhead, but I've been really working on getting my. Here's the thing: I'm never late, and I'm always prepared. But somehow, I still just behind the scenes, I'm like stressing and messing things up a little bit. So I had a private solo show, and it was one where they asked for all Motown and R&B for 3 hours. So I did, and they asked for that only like 2 or 3 days before the show. So here's an example of like how seriously do you take that? And
Right.
so I went to just charting and going nuts, wanting to be really prepared for that. And it kind of had a backfire to where time got away from me. And I still left at a reasonable time to get to this gig. The gig was at Montage. Okay.
Yes.
This agency that hires me does not list the address in their advancings for some reason. I think this is
What?
really weird. It just says the name, and I don't know why they do that. It's a really weird. I've asked for it before, and as you and I have talked about many times, the address alone can cause a lot of confusion. A lot of times depending which app you even put the address in, it's going to take you somewhere different.
Yep.
You know, or it's just taking you to some clearing in the forest, and you're like,
Totally.
So
I've got sent to the other side of San Francisco because I was going to Pier whatever,
yeah,
and I was new to San Francisco,
yeah.
and everyone was like, "Oh, well, you just go to that one," and I'm like, "Oh, well, I don't know because I'm
There's
not."
3 Pier 23s. You didn't know that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I oh yeah.
yeah.
So
And there's Pier 23 Street and
hmm
Avenue. No, so Montage. Okay, so I leave where I usually give myself an entire hour of leeway, no matter what, any
right.
gig I do. And I think you're the same. We used to ride together occasionally, and we would get there an hour early at least.
Yep. Yep.
So I get to Montage. It's like a huge. Have you been there? It's a resort in
Yeah.
Healdsburg, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
And
pretty sure I have.
there's just it's huge grounds with probably 10 event spaces. It's enormous. Golf course,
Yeah.
winery, all this sort of stuff. I think it has golf course, but I show up there. It's got a circular driveway where someone takes your car and parks it for you after you unload. So I talked to the guys. I'm like, hey, they said I'm supposed to play on the activity lawn. Can you tell me where that is? And they're all teenagers taking your keys. So they're like, hold on a second. Let me go ask. And he comes back. He's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I
Can you?
did ask.
Yeah, I forgot what they said. So it's a long way away to the desk. So
Who are you?
yeah. What were you asking me again? Yeah. Can I have your keys? So I'm like, damn. So I go around asking a couple of the other guys wandering around, and
They come back to you and they're like, "Yeah, someone wants to know where the activity lawn's at."
yeah, do you know where it is? Yeah. Pretty much. So he's like, so one guy points up to this place that's like 100 yards away, and I have all this gear. He's like, it's up there. I smartly don't bring everything, right, and I bring a
Right.
couple things and go up there, and they're like, there is no activities lawn. I'm like, okay. So I figured the agency just doesn't list it. Something got lost in translation. I'm like, well, they said it's between this oak room, and they go, oh, that's down there, oak room. So I go down to whatever they said is the oak room. They said this is not the oak room. I'm like, what's going on here? And now I'm only a half hour early. It's getting a little bit stressful.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
and I go down to where another private party is, and they go, okay, you set up right over here. Here's where you set up. And something told me to ask. So I'm like, what company is this for? It still wasn't the right private party, even though they were just happy to have me play for free, probably.
Right.
So I'm like, ah. So I go back up to where all those guys are taking keys and wandering around. And it's like, showed them on my phone the advancing. And this guy who looked like the manager of the dipshits walks over and he goes, let me see that. I have bad news for you. You're supposed to be at the Meritage. So
God.
I was at the Montage,
Right,
and it
right.
was the Meritage, and I was like, my whole
Whew.
body cringed and went inside itself, and I
Yeah.
shit myself and threw up and died and killed myself and everything in like 5 seconds. So I looked, I'm like, and immediately I'm going, that could happen to anybody. Montage,
Yeah.
Meritage, ah! And I
Yeah.
look at my phone, it's an hour and a half away.
Yeah, yeah. Meritage is more like
It's
Napa,
in
right?
Napa. Oh,
Yeah.
see, you're sharper than me. What I should have known. So I mean, I am literally coming out of my skin,
Oh my God.
and so I bounce into the car and I barrel down toward Meritage, and luckily that is, I don't know, luckily or unluckily, that is a huge event where there's sound reinforcement. This other guy had to bring like another system, which I'm going to patch into.
Nice.
So, and another, luckily, they gave me his number. So I
Yeah.
called that guy. I'm like, dude, I tell him this entire story while I'm driving, and he's laughing a little bit. So kind of break the ice. And I was like, man, it has me getting there a half hour before my start time. So I just want you to know I'll be there. Everything's cool. It's going to take me 10 minutes to set up. Everything should be fine, which it was. But
Yep.
dude,
So
it took me,
stressful.
it's so stressful. And then I played all Motown and R&B and no one noticed or cared.
Oh my
I could
God.
have played all, Dio,
Yep.
but, and I should have.
Yeah.
But yeah, I couldn't relax until about 2 hours into it, that I was
Right.
finally like, okay, I
Jeez.
made it. Everything's cool. No one's the wiser. But dude,
Yeah.
Montage, Meritage, please include the
Oh.
address in the advance.
That yeah, that's not totally your fault, dude. Like,
I mean,
you know?
it is, but I guess I'm hoping it's a little bit understandable to the listener.
Yeah.
Because I do like to pride myself in really getting all the details and not really making mistakes. But it did tell me one thing is I'm trying to do too many things, because I
Yeah.
just started a new project with Wendy. I told you
Yes.
about last time, the Bowie twins,
Yeah.
and we have our New Moon on Monday going. I'm also writing 2 albums, an original of my own stuff, and then Moth Tax is working on a new one. So I'm kind of like
Nice.
no sleep and a little bit too many different directions at once. So it's a kind of a warning for
Yeah.
people to not, make sure you keep the balance, which I haven't had, and I don't see a way out anytime soon.
Right. You're like, if you hire me, please send the address.
Yeah. I know. I hope I'm not discouraging, because, like I said, I still haven't missed anything, and everyone was happy.
Oh yeah,
But
that's
me.
harsh. That's the closest thing I can think of that I've done recently like that is which I think I talked about when I went to the wrong airport a couple weeks ago.
No, I don't think you
Did
did.
we talk about this?
No, did we?
From
I don't think so.
Houston when
I
we were
thought
in
that was a
Houston.
joke.
Not a joke.
See, I thought that was a joke. It was you
No.
like slipped it in among a bunch of jokes. Like, great job,
No.
Clay. Nice rapping. I'm at the wrong airport. I'm
Dude,
like,
no. Dude, I did the same I did the same
dude.
thing
After
and
all that joking, what'd you do? Drive to Dallas?
no, I drove to
There's two Houston
so
airports.
it's the same thing though because when you look up like I
Houston.
looked up my flight
Yeah.
and it just said what did it say? It was like
HOU.
Southwest HOU, but I was like, "Oh yeah, Houston.
Yeah.
Houston Airport." And
Yeah.
so I was like, "Okay, cool." And so I go to my Uber and I'm like, "I guess I'm going to Houston." And so I look up, just like airport and it just comes up airport. And so
Oh.
I'm like, yeah, let's go to the airport. And so I'm driving. This guy's like, we're like listening to Christian rock
He
and
goes, this one only takes you to Greenland. I guess you're.
yeah. And so, but the drive felt way too long. And
Oh
I was just
God.
like, do, like looking out the window. And I'm like, this just, nothing looks familiar,
Yeah.
but whatever. What do I know?
Why does
And
that
we
say
get
New
there.
Mexico?
Yeah. Yeah. And we get there and he goes, "Are you in Concourse D?" And I go, "Concourse D? No, I'm Southwest." And he goes, ooh, Southwest doesn't fly here. And I was like, what? And he goes, no, that must be a Hobby Airport. And I was like, what? And
It's
he's
a
like,
Hobby
yeah,
Lobby and an airport.
yeah. He goes, no, that's Hobby. And I go, well, is it close? And he goes, well, it's the other side of
Texas.
Houston. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God.
So did he
And
take you, or you have to get another Uber?
I talked him into like, please, dude, like, could you
He's
just
like, sure,
take
I'll take
me?
another $200.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it took. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was bad. And
And so
luckily
did you miss your flight?
I made it because I'm just like a nervous flyer. I leave
See, so
super
it's
early.
like me, where you're banking enough time that I think because we're airheads, we do that, and then
we plan on that.
Yeah.
We
build it into our itinerary.
We pay
9
the
to 10 a.m.
Yeah.
fuck ups.
Yeah. I'd like to. Yeah, I'm gonna add in my I'm a dumbass tax.
Yeah.
Like, first.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, that was a bad feeling. But it's kind of the same thing where you're like, oh my God, especially like with when you're playing gigs, if it's like a corporate thing or like a bigger show, that's so much more stressful.
Yeah.
Than like a public one. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? If something happens,
I've been here 100 times or whatever, right?
Yeah, and it's like stuff happens, so I don't stress that hard.
Yeah.
Even though I'm on time, but yeah, if it's like a big event, like I have a wedding this Saturday, same deal where it's like I have to learn a bunch of songs.
A solo,
and we've been planning this for a year.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, I don't want to be late.
Those are a special thing when you play a wedding solo, which I've done also a lot of times. You're in a fishbowl and everyone is absolutely paying attention with full emotion to what you're doing. And it's like the most meaningful moment in a lot of people's lives that you're scoring. So you better not fuck up.
I know. And it's been one of these where I'm like, we booked it so long ago, and because they just saw me at a place that I play, and we've been back and forth. And the whole time I'm like, oh my God, I hope something doesn't come through on my schedule that messes this up. And I kind of made a decision. I'm like, nothing. I can't miss this.
A wedding, you can't. No.
Yeah, because it's like that's just messed up, So
yeah. Like, Dubai, bro. Full month. You're like,
full month.
It wasn't enough just to say Dubai.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So what I was gonna say on how I said like we were talking about sort of like touring cover bands, right?
Yeah.
It's so funny, like, and we've talked about this too, but so many people that aren't in cover bands are always like, oh, cover bands, like,
which I was that guy.
Yeah, and I guess I never really was, but it's funny to me because everybody's doing covers, even if you're playing with the artist.
That's true.
It's like, and so people are like, what's it like to play with like this artist? I'm like, honestly, it's exactly the same. Like,
yeah.
It's like,
you know what? You've never said that, and that is a peak comment right there. That's really interesting. We should pin that. Yeah. Because I've never heard you say that, and I can imagine it is. In a lot of ways.
It's exactly the same.
Just the accommodations might be a little different. The crowd's a little bigger.
Sometimes I think the show itself is organized maybe a little bit tighter.
Yeah.
Where it's like, bam, 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 and stuff like that. And maybe there's dancers or something.
Unless you played with Neon Velvet.
Hey.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But overall, I'm like, no, dude, like we play on big stages too. Like, it's like,
we do.
It's really is. I'm like, there's really not much difference. Like,
I think that's so cool for the listener or anyone to know. Yeah. And a lot of people, it kind of connects to when someone says, "Are you famous?" Or "Hey, I'm a musician." If they haven't heard of you, I think a lot of people will assume you are a bedroom jerk off guitar player, basically.
Yeah.
But they don't. And I didn't even realize that there are all these other levels of making a good living.
Yeah.
And I may have been on TV and I was just off camera, or who knows what, or
right.
But I didn't know you could still be a traveling musician and do all that. And really, a lot of us do original and cover band stuff still.
Yep.
And even if you don't, it's like you could be playing 4 days a week.
Totally. And yeah, when I was young and I figured out like, oh, like you can just kind of be a blue collar like player and make money, I was like, that is it. It's over. Like that's what I want to do. Like
Yeah.
because I just you could see the avenue. You're like, okay, I
And
just
see,
gotta get
being open to joining bands, I think, opens your mind to that
yeah,
because I was always running my own band. And so I
right.
really didn't have an occasion to run up against, oh, they're doing these gigs and this is happening. It was
Yeah.
all kind of, I have to book the gigs, I have to do that. So it has its pros and cons with that, but it took me a
Yeah.
lot longer to discover what you just said. So
Yeah,
it's pretty
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's a trip though, because I'm always like I appreciate every musician. Honestly, I appreciate everyone doing whatever. You know, if you're I'm an artist and I'm not doing that. Honestly, I'm like, wow, like that's brave of you. Like, get it? Like
Respect.
people need that. Um, I always wonder though. I'm like, are you like independently wealthy or you know, like because not everybody's making a lot of money doing
No, but
that.
I think there's
Um,
a lot of people, and I know some, and I was this too, that just plug along.
yeah, you do what it
Not
takes.
wealthy. Yeah, you just that's
You
your
do
whole life's
you do
meaning.
it exactly, and I do understand that. I can't do something else though for myself. Like I can't like go work a day job and then do it. So I'm like, no, it's got to be. I have to be playing music. So I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever that means. And honestly, like the difference between playing like some pop stuff or whatever and then going and play with Tainted Love is like I play way more in Tainted Love. Like I'm like shredding, you know,
Yeah.
like actually
Right. That's
playing a
true.
lot. So a lot of these other bands I'm like playing power chords, which
Yeah.
is super fun. But
Yeah, it might
the
be about
different
the physicality and back
yeah,
vocals or who
the
knows what.
difference isn't that huge. But yeah, yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
crazy with original stuff though, because I'm in this spot now where I'm finishing songs and getting ready to release songs. And
Yeah.
do you do like PR for your music?
Um, yeah, I do to varying degrees, and I still have the same passion and dreams, frankly, but I don't do as much because I think there's a lot more bogus PR
Uh
offered.
huh.
And I think the playing field is strange. I don't know how else to put it, to where
Yeah.
people are just throwing money at any way to get above the fray. And
Right.
it doesn't really work a lot of the time. So you, let's say you're trying to get promotion to get some more Spotify plays. You may get those, but it doesn't really do anything.
They're just bots, maybe.
Maybe, who knows? I mean,
Yeah.
I think even if they aren't, if you got, I mean, I've had 100,000 plays, it doesn't mean, I mean,
I
no
know.
record company contacted me.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
or not one that was going to give me an advance.
Yeah. Right.
So, but, being in that original music mindset is pretty awesome because that's where I've been, just like you. But well, not but anything. It's just a lot of my time is lately on that, and so I was going to share a couple things about it. Is
Yeah.
so we're mixing a song with Cam Parridge, who we've mentioned. Another,
Nice.
he's definitely a Mount Rushmore for me personally, but I've worked with him for like 20 years. He's the engineer for Narada Michael Walden, and he's a really good guitar player and a funny ass Scottish guy. So we're getting. I just finished a new song, and here's an example. I am not going to release this one as a single because some things I want to save for the record. Just every
Yeah.
song I finish, I'm not going to release on its own. Two of them so far for the record. I have this one. I will save. So we're finishing up the mix, and so sometimes what engineers do, I think, is if they can't get inside the artist's head, right? So they may make things too clean.
Hmm.
Their job, they're thinking, I want to, everything's drenched in reverb, it's gorgeous. And sometimes, you want a different vision for the song, and maybe it's you want it rougher. So I was saying to him, I want this song to retain some ugliness. I want it to have some zits,
Yeah.
And he goes, "Well, we do have your lead vocal track."
Doo-doo.
Dude, that took me.
Oh wow.
I fell to the floor laughing. That was so damn good.
That's good.
So I think that how seriously we take things, and how we can lose perspective can also be
Yeah.
an issue. Kind of like if you're producing your own records. I know you do, like I do.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's really good to have someone co-produce or who's mixing with you that you trust, that can be
Yeah.
like, no one's going to hear that, or it sounds great, trust me.
Yeah.
And there's a balance, right? Because a lot of times they'll say, okay, cool, I'll do 90% of the things you're saying.
Yeah.
And this one, I feel strongly about you reconsidering. So
Totally.
that was one of those, like, oh, dude, put some distortion on the hi-hats, or whatever it was, And he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Hey, here's what that sounds like, Now everything is grubby, and you don't. There's no things next to each other in stark relief. So everything is messy. Then you don't notice messiness,
Yeah.
unless it's
Yeah.
next to something clean. So
Totally. Yeah, that kind of stuff. I can relate so much to that because, like, for me, it's me and Eddie's relationship, Eddie Kaipo. So
yeah.
we go back and forth all the time.
And what side of the coin is he on, and what side are you generally on? Like, where do you guys kind of butt heads
well,
creatively?
he is always, which is it's great with him because he will give me just an honest opinion. Like he's not attached to the song.
Yeah.
And he'll just hear it and he makes a point, like, because I'll send him my mix and the tracks and he won't listen to it until it's like he's gonna work on it.
Yeah.
Because he just wants it real quick, like this and that.
Yeah.
I hear
instinctual decision.
Instinctual. And which is, I think, so important because I will focus in on parts like there's this bell part on the intro and this and that. And it's like, okay, like whatever, like that's like, who cares about that, right? And so like even just recently, I have a song that I sent him, and just yesterday, it's the song is really slow. It's a slow tempo, and the song ended up being like 7 minutes long. It just is.
Yeah.
But like him, he's like, dang man, he's like, this song's like 7 minutes long. Have you considered cutting it down? And my response was just nope. Like stuff like that. I'm like,
yep.
No, like I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, it's fine.
I've considered punching you in the face.
Yeah.
How do you like that?
Yeah, because it's kind of like, once you craft something like that much, it's like, well, I'm not just gonna cut down the sections.
Yeah.
But then I had to come back. I'm like, as far as mix goes, just do exactly what you want to do.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there.
Yeah,
because that's what he did on another track. And honestly, he goes, when he sent it, he goes, you're probably gonna hate this. Yeah. But just check it out.
Sit with it.
And I sat with it for like 2 weeks. And I was like, yeah, man. And I basically wrote like so many texts.
Right.
But then I deleted them.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to live with this longer. And that mix ended up being the mix.
I love it. I love that.
Yeah. So it's like he I was like certain parts, I was like, oh, I need this, I need that. But then the longer I sat with it, I'm like, no, this is it. This is the mix.
Yeah.
And so he was able to, like, he didn't do anything. He just mixed it. And then
everybody needs.
Yeah.
Even Prince had Susan Rogers. Everyone needs a little bit of outside perspective. And it's so valuable. It's kind of like just talking to someone and they give you can't change or grow without that.
Yeah, you snort too much, you cough too much, stuff like that.
Tell you.
Yeah.
So another way that I've been getting this, outside perspective, or just another perspective, let's call it, is I'm again working regularly with my friend Keiichi Sato he's lives in Japan. He is a Japanese gentleman, and like Japanese gentleman, stand up, please. He's he's awesome, and he cracks me up. And I think he hasn't been having the opportunity to speak English for 10 years.
Oh,
You know, I mean, we occasionally keep in touch, but when he was here in school, we were at San Francisco State together. Of course, he's using it way more often. But now he's even retired from his day job at Nissan, where he was
oh wow,
killing himself 2 to 3 hours each way just to get there and back on the
wow,
trains. You know, the whole thing you hear about. But dude, he's cracking me up with his accent and his way of thinking, which I've
yeah.
shared a couple things. For instance, don't press nuclear button, which he used to say. Don't piss him off. But so he also,
Nuclear.
but he also has a funny way of like we will talk about. So you and Eddie or me and Cam might say stuff like, you know, hey, this part sounds a bit too aggressive or something like that.
Right.
But he won't say it that way. He says like, I think because I go, you know, I don't really like using the dominant 7 chord too often. It just has such a, I don't know, kind of a corny sound to me sometimes.
Me
And he,
too. Honestly,
do
I
you
agree
feel
with
that
that.
way? Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do feel
So
like that.
very occasionally, or it just sounds quaint and kind of old, dated.
Sounds yeah, it sounds like a and honestly, it's I'm just like it just sounds like the Beatles. I don't
It
want to
sounds
sound
like
like
the
the
Beatles.
Beatles.
No,
I don't
that's
want to sound
exactly.
like that. Yeah.
It does, but so I've been listening to the Last Shadow Puppets. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. I
Mhm.
recommend it to you and to anyone listening. It's the guy from Arctic Monkeys has another
Nice.
project. That alone should tell you it's going to be great. He's
Yep.
dope. And
Yep.
but it's kind of got this vintage vibe, and so I've been really loving that. It's almost Phil Spector in some ways. And
Cool.
so just to get a sort of a piece, a flavor of that, I've been listening. And anyway, that was something we were talking about, Keiichi and I, he and he goes, to me, really dominant 7 is more ass sweet. And I was
As
like,
sweet?
ass sweet? Yeah. I'm like, dude, what are you saying?
Yeah,
like
would it
like that shit is sweet ass, you know, or I don't know.
you're right.
He's like, no, not sweet ass, ass sweet.
As sweet.
I'm like, oh, okay. I still don't get it. Is it ass? No, I said ass. I'm like, dude, say it again slowly. He goes, ass sweet, ass sweet. I said ass sweet. I figured out he's saying athlete.
You're like
Ass sweet, ass
as
sweet, ass sweet, athlete.
so
So,
but
so,
how is
dude,
that even
but I know, and that's already why I didn't guess that, because who would? But that's such a cool way. To him, it was like it's like an energetic,
energetic?
leaping sort of
Got it.
a chord to have. You know, it just
As
is a
sweet.
very dramatic. Yeah, ass sweet.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's not a couch potato. It's an ass sweet. So then we're just talking about America and the world and things. I don't want to get too political, but something made me ask him, just because I like to know what makes it over there or here as far as
Yeah,
trends and things. And
yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
hey, do you ever see truck nuts? I asked him, and he's
yeah,
like, what's that? I go, it's kind of like ass sweet. No, I was
yeah.
like, it's something we have here where, you know, they hang it from the back of a truck, and and then I texted him the image of one,
Yeah.
and he's like, oh my God, here, take my testicle. That's what he says that you're saying when you have it. He's like, take my ball. And so I was like, yeah, that's pretty much what they're saying.
Yeah, take my balls.
Yeah, take my ball. But he just says one ball.
Oh,
Take
just
my
one
ball.
ball.
Yeah. So then he goes, I want to make those. And like bring them over there. And I go,
Yeah.
yeah, you should have your own version that has 3. He's like, yeah, take my all 3. So then he's looking at the photo again that I sent him, and he quietly goes, Dutch rum. And I go,
What?
what? And he goes, Dutch rum. I was like, Dutch rum? Oh, like they'd be drinking like rum, those kind of guys. He's like, huh? I go, no. What are you saying? He goes, Dutch rum. So Dutch rum. It's really Dutch rum. I'm like, what? And I looked closer at the photo. It's a Dodge Ram.
Oh, Dutch, Dutch
Dude,
Ram.
it just never gets old. I love
Yeah.
it. I'm like, and then I tell him, I go, oh, you said Dodge Ram. And he goes, yeah. Like, that's what I said, man. I don't
Yeah.
know what's wrong with you.
Yeah. That could be like a freaking game show. Like
Dutch Ram.
trying
I
to,
know.
like, could you
And I
figure
mean,
it out?
and then he should say how stupid I say everything too, right? I'm
Right.
sure sayonara, man, or whatever I say. So
Dude.
it's just, I hope that it comes across, which it is I'm celebrating how much he makes me laugh and how
Yes. Of course.
he's already a creative mind. So, saying a chord
That's,
sounds like an athlete is already just like out of this
yeah.
world.
That's
But
amazing.
so
Well,
that's
that
the
sounds
world
like a
world I've
cool,
been in. Yeah.
that's awesome.
And he's also a genius, straight up. So
Wow.
he's like a virtuoso on piano and guitar. So I'll
Nice.
send him things, and then often it's so developed and kind of overwrought what he gives me, but I can, pick any 40% of it, and it
Mm.
will like elevate anything I'm doing just
That's so
immeasurably.
cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Nice, dude.
Yeah, man.
I have to just touch on something real quick. That I heard a funny story as I was at a show, 2 weeks ago. So, and we're gonna go back to our good buddy, Greg, and we're
Greg
'cause
Zemma. Greg Zemma. Oh, dude.
we
An
we love
endless
Greg
supply.
so much. We love Greg so
He's
much.
a real ass sweet.
Yeah. I mean, and just, once again, if we are talking about you, it's because we love you. You're part of the
100%.
family.
100%.
And Greg has literally saved shows that I've played at. He's literally been the singer like lost their voice, and Greg was like,
Yeah.
raises his hand and he's like, I
Yeah.
will do everything.
Yeah.
He's a freaking legend.
The cellist broke their leg and he just picks it up.
Talented.
Yeah.
But I heard a story, and I don't even know if this is true, but I guess the band leader of Mustache was texting someone in our band saying, yeah, the other night, I was wondering why Greg wasn't moving a lot on stage. And I was like, Greg, why aren't you moving around a bunch or something? Like, and Greg goes, well, I fell out of a chair and I landed on a table with my balls. Like, so
Okay.
that is unfortunate.
Yeah.
And that could make you not move. But just the thought of what kind of a chair and what kind
That's
of
like
a table.
and what kind of 3 times bad luck do you have?
And then for some reason in my head, I picture like, those like caution signs where it's like someone slipping.
Yeah,
But then
yeah.
it's like, beware of like slipping off a chair and hitting
Yeah.
your balls on a table. It's like,
Yeah,
whoa,
yeah.
like the stick
Yeah.
man with the balls.
Yeah. Take my ball.
It's like
Don't
that
be
is-
a Greg. Yeah.
that is the most random.
Dude,
How,
not
how
only
do
that
you
though,
do that?
I wish I could have seen it happen.
yeah.
Was
like,
anyone there? That's what I want to know.
no,
Where
no.
was it?
I think he was kind of like, either it's real and it happened, or he's like, I need to think of something that's so unique.
No one will question this. Well, he does disappear for hours on end before
And falling-
shows. So
just
this is what he does.
Look, yeah, he finds a chair that he can slip off
Yeah.
and land on his balls.
Yeah.
And so now my joke around my house is like, oh, I got to go to Home Depot and ball-proof all my tables. So my kids don't fall out of their chairs and hit their balls.
I picture Greg. I picture Greg thinking, just like spending his time thinking of excuses for the problems he's gonna have.
Yeah.
He's like, I hurt my spleen climbing a tree. Just everything's
Yeah.
something's always gonna go wrong.
I burned my weenus. Yeah.
Dude, he's so awesome. We got to have him on eventually.
That would be amazing.
He's the true jack of all trades. And I don't know how, I want to say now, I kind of want to predict, I guess, but I have no idea how he'll behave on a podcast. Like,
I
he's
know.
got such an unpredictable way. He could be like kind of up and
He would
crazy, or he could
maybe
be like
this.
shy. Yeah, he's 45
It'd be
degree angle man. Always.
Just a profile.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's like things are. It's yeah, thing. It's that's
yeah,
how
I
he always
think
answers when I say, "How's it going?"
honestly, I really don't think we could ever predict what someone's gonna be like on this
Right.
thing.
True. True.
Which is kind of like I think it's worth giving
Part of the fun.
anyone a shot.
Yeah.
Um, and me and Bray, we have discussed this, and obviously we're gonna have guests here and there. We got an idea for the next person, but it's gonna be here and there. It's not
Yeah.
always, just a little extra treat every now and then. So
Yeah. Shake things up, introduce you to new folks, and but we'll keep developing and getting to know you with us too mainly.
definitely, because our
So
our community that we often talk about, all the stars that we bring into our stories, they are all very interesting people.
yeah, they're all
So
real people, and you get to
yeah,
see firsthand. Durbin tells stories that come from his own life. That this guy who's done American Idol and a ton of other things. It's kind of
yeah,
cool for us just to ask things we never would in a regular, backstage hang
yeah.
too.
It is, yeah, that is a good thing about it, is like you can actually put the spotlight on someone and be
Yeah.
like, now it's your turn. Just like, yeah, talk about yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And these people are all parts of us that make us who we are, and a lot of times are what we have in common, you and I.
Yep,
So,
totally.
I think
Yep.
it'll be fun to see. But yeah, Greg Zema, just to remind you, is the guy that we talked about with Durbin that fell off the stage taking a selfie and could have died.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have landed on his coccyx or whatever the hell.
Yeah. He could have fell off the stage onto a chair and fell out of the chair and hit his balls on a table. A little mousetrap action.
Yeah, the fact that his balls didn't get hurt is really a miracle.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It really is. Man, I got more I want to talk about. I want to just touch on something real quick and then we'll get into a yarn.
yeah.
There's something that happened in the guitar community, that the guitar community is in an uproar right now, and it's amazing. So there's this guitar player that's an internet guitar player. His name's like Giamoco something. He's an Italian guy, and he
Hmm.
has all these really fun, beautiful videos of him playing funky tunes that are clearly overdubbed, which is fine because like it's kind of you can do
Hard to
that.
get good audio.
It's hard to get good audio, and he's got these crazy jams, where he's like shredding and playing funk, and he brings in people, and he's always in cool locations. Um,
He's
and
like
so I
on a
saw,
waterfall. He's like, this is real.
yeah, and there's a lot of this online, and that whole term like, oh, he's like an Instagram guitar player,
Yeah.
or whatever. But now he's like gotten really famous. Obviously, he has endorsements. He's on tour. Things have been going good for him. People always send me his stuff, and I'm always kind of like, it's fine. It's really interesting, but it's just kind of like I don't. The tone sounds like it's from a computer or whatever, so I'm not
Yeah.
really into it.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem natural.
Hmm.
Anyways, turns out this dude has been stealing other small, not famous people's compositions. Like, and so he basically all of his stuff he's ever done is literally just he stole it from someone else and he did it a really good version of it.
Oh, so
Uh,
he is playing it. I see.
he's
He's just not
playing it,
writing it.
but
Yeah.
he's completely stealing the parts.
Wow.
And then I guess he did credit them like at the bottom of the at like
Post.
the bottom of the post, which honestly I'm kind of like, well, he's not totally wrong, but I guess the big problem where people are freaking out is he's gotten super famous and he's selling guitar tabs of these things like they're his, and they're not. It's someone else's. But the thing that's crazy to me is he is like his career's over. Like you look at his comments now and they are just nonstop. You're a fake.
He
I'm
got
like,
canceled.
dude, he got canceled, dude. And I kind of feel bad for him because I'm like, he did make the videos and he did play the parts and he did organize this and he
And
made
he also
himself.
prepared the tabs, which people
He
do that on stuff
he
they haven't written. So I'm not even
well,
sure
I
what
mean,
the actual
think
crime is.
thinking of jazz, look at all the jazz
Yeah.
guys. A lot of those guys didn't write any of that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think yeah, the guitar community is harsh. That's why I'm
Yeah.
glad
It
I'm
doesn't
not good
seem.
enough to actually get
Well, I probably
backlash.
am missing some of it, the point, but Yeah, I don't know where the full crime is. I don't love it that he did that, and you should probably tag the person who wrote each song you're
See,
posting.
I think he did too, and
Well, then,
I think people are just like they're really coming down on him because he got so famous
so
that
that's why.
it wasn't known, you know, like yeah, his fame got bigger than these other people. Um
Well, that's
and
because
but
of the presentation,
yeah,
which is
but I
part of
kind
it.
of feel bad for him because if you look, I checked him out
Yeah,
yesterday. I'm like, oh, dude, he's kind of cooked. Like
yeah,
all of his comments are completely just
just
bad.
disparaging. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
crazy though.
that's the
I've
thing
never.
about cancel culture. Someone said to me, "Well, that's kind of going away." Not at all. It's like
Not as
in
long as there's the
full
internet.
force.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Yeah,
because
it's
people
in
can
full
just chime
force.
in.
Hmm.
So crazy. I just thought that was a really. I've never seen that in a guitar.
You should
Or
share one of his videos or something with me because I don't know
yeah, I will. I just
who
yeah,
that is.
I will.
Giacomo.
Yeah, it's like Giacomo something. But yeah, it was the post was a guitar player who's an amazing guitar player in the Bay Area saying like he was basically referencing like saying like you know the playing to like make videos and not playing live is getting out of control. Um, which and I'm literally in the middle of like getting ready to do promo for my songs, and I'm like, well,
Yeah.
I'm totally gonna play to the audio. I'm not gonna play it live.
I don't agree with that. I think if someone doesn't like something, they should do what they want out there. You know what I mean? They should
Yeah,
put out there what they want
yeah,
out there.
and I
But
think it's
it's like,
different.
dude,
Yeah,
it's free to play by yourself, and to do live shows is like can be costly. I mean, I
yeah.
don't know. I think
I think
it's
it
just got its
depends.
place,
It depends
and he
on the
is touring.
it depends on the purpose. Like
Yeah.
I think in that zone, and I think what this guy was talking about is kind of the acrobatic musical land where there's no
Yeah.
singing and it's
Yeah, of
like
course.
and it's kind of like less art and more like look at me do 7 backflips kind of a
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah.
Um it's still art. That's the mean thing to say, but yeah,
No,
I
I hear
think
you.
you know, as opposed to like just something that's like this is like I'm presenting a piece of music.
But I
Um
think live or not, a lot of instrumental music, not only just even singers can be like this, but just acrobatics have become for a lot of people that alone is
yeah,
the
the draw.
impressive thing or the
The
draw.
draw,
Yeah.
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 I
It's just
know. It's
always
there's a
been.
lot of it out there for sure. Um yeah. Dude, I get so many spammy texts. What the hell
Oh
like
yeah.
from
What like I
listeners?
me
It's
too.
like what the hell,
I
dude?
know.
It's so stupid.
So is that a yarnar?
Yeah, yeah, right. Well, we can make a left turn right into the Yarnars.
Yeah.
Clay sent me one.
Mm-hmm.
Clay said, Yarnar number one, wearing a sweater as a cape, like around, you know,
Right,
the
right, right.
or around the butt, like wearing a sweater as like a
Right. That's
not as a sweater, just as a
right. As a
wraparound.
skirt or as a cape.
Uh
Yeah.
huh.
I think that's really good. I think if you wear it as a cape, it's a very like Alice from Brady Bunch look, or
Mm-hmm.
some like older 50s style.
Yeah.
And if it's one of those like furry little pearl button ones, kind of cute. I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's such a weird look that I'm gonna yar it.
Yeah.
But and then strangely I'm gonna gnar the skirt.
The skirt one.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But it's better. It's better. Oh, because there's a third one. Maybe he meant this, but there's the golf clap, which is the
right.
hoodie that's just tied around your neck with a big bow of sleeves right under your chin.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that one's pretty gross. I'll gnar that one.
Okay. I'm just gonna yar him across the board.
Yeah. Fuck it.
Because
Sweaters.
because I think of a couple different things, you know. Yeah, like the golfy one with the sweater around the thing, like the Shooter
Yeah.
McGavin.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then but then when it's around the waist, I think of like Bill and Ted. So I'm
Yeah.
like,
Just a sloppy look. That's all.
sloppy and funny. Like I'm
Yeah.
cool with that too. So
Yeah.
like I'm gonna let it slide.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. I think the cape though you rarely see. You
Yeah,
rarely see the cape anymore.
right.
That's just like a nice bizarre effort right there. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
All right.
Um, And I've got one real quick because this happened to me at a show. Uh, this lady who was really enjoying my solo set came up, and she was very proud to put her money in the tip jar, right? And
Mm-hmm.
as she's putting it in, she doesn't just put it in. She looks at me and she goes, "You got to crumple these things up, man. You got to
Oh
crumple
my
up these
God.
dollars." And I was just in my head, I'm like, "Don't do that. That sucks. Like, I'm gonna have to uncrumple them. Like,
Yeah,
who's
yeah.
gonna uncrumple? Like, I'm gonna have to do that."
Well, if
So
it's a
she's going,
crumpled up hunnet,
"Well,
crumple the
yeah,
shit
you
out
could
of it.
crumple it." It was not. And so she's crumpling up like all these ones and just jamming them in there. And I'm like, "Come on!" Like, she
Yeah.
was so proud of herself.
See, I
Like you
think
got
people crumple the ones so you don't notice right away they're ones.
that might be it. And I think she was trying to just make it look like it was more.
Oh
That
yeah,
was
yeah,
her
yeah.
goal.
Yeah,
But
thanks.
but this just I feel so dirty right now.
Yeah, and then you got work to do later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So nar on that for me.
Yeah, yeah. I thought you were gonna say she was so proud, and then she puts the tip in, and it's like clink, clink,
Yeah,
clink.
yeah, jingle jangle. Yeah. Jeez. That used to be when I'd play in what was it? Hard Rock down in San
Yeah,
Francisco.
right,
You
right.
get people from like the UK.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like they're dropping in freaking shillings. And shit.
yeah. That's a halfpenny. Enjoy. Yeah.
Lord.
So
But
Muscat sent one in,
oh yeah,
and
what did he
maybe
have?
we'll close out on this one. But how he listed it in the text, he texted Green Room, our podcast, and he said, "Yarnar harmonic solos."
Oh yeah, harmonica though. Dude,
I
good
knew he
call.
meant
How did I miss that?
harmonica. I
Yeah.
figured he might have meant harmonica, but he put harmonic. But it led me to thinking about harmonic solos
Yeah.
versus.
Anything with harmonic. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like, do you use harmonics, or do you mean it's within harmony of the key you're playing in?
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
I like only atonal solos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Which I mean, there's so many ways you could take this. First of all, I love atonal solos.
Yeah.
I really do. And I think of like Mike Stern or somebody,
Yeah.
and just I love that angular style. And but when I think of a harmonica, that's so funny to say. I mean, it's such a specific style you're immediately gonna evoke. So
Yeah.
my thought was right when I read that, my thought was Nar except for Stevie Wonder.
Exactly. I'm sure exactly what he was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, isn't she lovely? That's harmonica, right?
Yeah. Oh, he's got yeah, yeah,
So
exactly.
all of that is happening 100%.
Uh-huh.
And then you travel down the road a little bit and you got Blues Traveler.
See, but we could be putting some people way off. I know my wife really likes them actually. I mean, the
Yeah,
guy's killing it on there. I just don't
he is.
harmonica or not, it's maybe just not my cup of tea,
Okay,
you know.
so I don't know where I sit on Blues Traveler. I feel like, I don't know what else I would put on that section. It's kind of cool. Because that harmonica kind of sounds like the way he sings too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I've got 2 yards on that, and then
Oh,
the
then you
third,
have Bob Dylan. He would do
Bob
it.
Dylan's fine. Yeah,
It's like kind of how he sings also.
it's kind of like, yeah, and then it's funny on those kinds of solos because then you're like, wow, that's really cool, and then you accidentally like fall on a harmonica and it makes that sound too. You're like, oh, that's all he did.
And then you hurt
That's
your
cool.
balls. Yeah.
Exactly.
I love that solo. Yeah.
And then a really great one too is well, kind of any Tom Petty. Like I love that
Oh yeah.
harmonica.
Come on.
So I guess I'm yarning it across the board.
Yeah.
Because it
Yeah.
does work. It totally works. Like
It's like it's just I have a bland answer which is if it's jamming, if it's good. You like
yeah,
anything,
yeah,
you could play kazoo and I'd like it. So
yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah. So I changed. We both I think flipped within the conversation from Nar except for Stevie Wonder to what the hell Yarp.
Yeah, yeah. I think yeah, no, it surprises me.
All right, good one.
I'm gonna
Keep the Yarnars coming.
yes, and beware of harmonicas getting thrown at your balls. So that's or falling on them. Yeah. You don't want to fall on a harmonica the wrong way. Okay,
All right,
well,
man.
I think we did it again. Yes, everybody find us on Instagram and find us on YouTube and like and subscribe and
The
all
Green
these
Room
things.
Music Podcast.
Yes,
Woo-hoo.
send us a text. Send us a text. We love it.
All right,
All
man.
right. Adios.
Later.
See ya.